I use the tarot as a tool to really look at where you're growing from the inside out. It's a really special way to read. It's like receiving a reading from someone who's inside your tuning fork body and knows the harmonic of your system and how it's resonating and how it's feeling blocked. Or, you know, when you hit a tuning fork and as soon as it hits something that it's not meant to touch, its harmonic just stops. It's like the tarot reading is a little bit like that. From the inside out, we can see where you're banging up against walls that just don't serve you or your frequency. And so when I read the tarot, I've got a line of now that really looks really clearly at the situation that's up for you at this time. And it looks at you from the inner of you and the outer of you, or the being and the becoming, hence being and becoming .life. That whole URL, if you like, is in my line of now in my spread. Conscious mind, I've got 2 cards for there. The conscious mind information is really pertinent, and it always depends what cards come up together as to how I'm going to read them. And it also depends on what intuitive downloads I'm receiving, because I can read the exact same cards for one person and another person, but tell a completely different story that'll be just as apt, just as resonant for the receiver. When we go deeper, I've got subconscious and then elemental nature cards as well. So we really look at what's going on for you at multiple different levels and layers of self. So we can look at the harmonics of you, how the tuning fork of you is resonating in the world today. Then I've got a bunch of cards for the outcome, and the outcome being what's seeking to emerge at this time. If you continue on the path that you're on, in the frequency that you're in if you stay playing the note that you're playing in the song of your life, this is kind of where you're going to land up. It's not prophetic. It's not predictive in any way. It's just an anchor that puts you into yourself from the inside out. Really, really key, important way. It's using the tarot as a tool for growth, as a tool to sort of pinpoint where you're at the moment. It's kind of like a transpersonal SWOT analysis, if you like. Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses? Where are your opportunities? Where are your threats? But it's taking it to a whole nother level of what's going on. And it can end up being a tool for business. It can end up being a tool for relationships, for families, for parenting, for community. It's like, how do we recode how we show up in the world from the inside out? How am I recoding my finances? How am I recoding my connections with other people? How am I recoding my relationships? How am I recoding my intimacy with depth? These are real potent topics at this time, and this is what life's about at the moment, is really dropping into that deeper aspect of self that's seeking to emerge. It's like we're kind of all waking up going, I've been programmed. And that program doesn't work for me anymore. That program, I was just walking around like this asleep zombie in this relationship that's been governed by fairy tales that are bullshit. So how do I show up now? Who am I? Who is the me that is emerging at this time? The tarot are giving, I was going to say permission, but it's not like they're giving permission. They're just showing what you're purifying at this time from an inside-out perspective. And they're laying a pathway that says, you can follow this harmonic, this resonance. This is what might work for you. And you'll be able to feel your way through it. And at a different now moment, it'll shift because everything's going so much faster at this time. That's why I'm not going to give you a prediction. I'm not going to tell you, someone asked me the other day, I'm in this gnarly situation. Can you tell me what's going to happen from it? I'm like, hell no, I can't tell you what's going to happen. I can tell you where you can best pick yourself up from the inside out, where you can best lay in the grids within your internal nature. Because when we've got a real stable system from the inside out, when we have a sense of constant stability that hones us from the inside out, it doesn't matter what's going on around us. We respond appropriately to the situation. But we need a stable grid within us. So I'm not going to tell you what is going to happen or how it's going to happen, but I am going to be able to pinpoint where your internal grid is lacking in stability and integrity and authenticity, and where you might help restitch some of what's been going on for you back and recode it, because we are all unraveling, right, in different ways. This is the time for it. We're unraveling the fairy tale, we're unraveling the programming, the conditioning, the structures that can't serve us, the systems that don't work. They're all unraveling. We're in the card of the tower in the major arcana, the tower, things are falling down within us and around us. It's just a fact. Some of us see it more than others. Some of us are experiencing it more than others. But it's still happening to some degree for pretty much everyone in some area, if not all areas of life. So what happens when we take a pause and we drop in and we relax and we feel into what's really seeking to emerge? I read the tarot from this place. Where are you at inside the chaos? How is your inner stability? Where's your own integrity at? Is it stable? Are you stable from the inside out? The answer most likely is not totally. There's a lot of whoa, and that's okay. But in what areas are you destabilized because of imprints that are not yours, not what you need? They're imprints from images or people or systems or structures or fairy tales that you've been unconsciously living by that you don't need to live by anymore. We can go really, really deep in these readings, and it is my intention to share with you whatever is most up for you at this time, to show you where you can become your own purification chamber and burn away what's holding you back, burn away what's limiting and restricting you, what's giving you a glass ceiling, what's preventing you from seeing the path forward. Because when we're on our path forward and we're unfurling from the inside out, one breath at a time, the way is clear and we dream life into existence. And as we dream life into existence, there's no call for big manifesting vision boards and this, I'm setting my intentions on this. It's just this flow that starts to happen because we are present in each now moment going, yeah, that's a good idea, let's pull that in. And then things suddenly happen. It's like, oh, there's an opportunity. That's actually what I've been looking for, thanks. People, circumstances, experiences all start to line up because we're flowing from the inside out. We don't need to vision, we don't need to manifest, we don't need to plot or plan or coerce or run agendas anymore. All of that drops away, and instead we fall into the blueprint of our own inner grid. That's where the stability really lies. That's where the tarot reading accesses the potency of what is seeking to emerge through and as you at this time. So I'd love to read for you. They're potent 1-hour sessions that can springboard into more life coachy kind of mentory type of work together. And that's all I'm doing, is helping you recode your relationship to yourself, your connection with depth, to recode your finances, your community interaction, and how you show up in the world. Because truly now is the time for you to show up as you. So who are you, really? Who are you today? Go to www.beingandbecoming.life, and I look forward to hearing from you. I would love to share some time with you in this way.